The only thing that would maybe make you more is if I was holding a pumpkin spice latte in my hand, right? Hello, my friends. I'm Cathy Weaver, and I am loving, loving, loving to celebrate Words of Wisdom Wednesday with you every single week. And you know, being part of the Fun, Fearless Female global community of Christian women is one of my favorite groups. And I definitely love supporting and being on the fan club for Delinda Lane. And when we talk about business, we talk about personal, we talk about scripture, we talk about goals and objectives, literally objectives, and all those different things that we go through as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and sometimes not even business owners, just people. We get to share with each other. And as I said, when you send the comments and the text messages, I love that. And certainly when you comment on the page. But I did want to talk today, honestly, about the seasons changing are, it's a given. And especially in the Kansas City area, the seasons change by temperature a lot, not consistently, not on time. And they always say if you don't like the weather in Kansas City, stick around about 11 minutes and it'll change, and it usually does. But for right now, we are transitioning. We've still got about 3 more weeks left of fall, technically on the calendar. But when people talk about the changing of seasons, they get all bundly and snuggly in their great big sweaters and blankets and football games and tailgating and all that cool stuff. And they think about trick or treat, if that's your thing. They think about Thanksgiving coming up. And then, after that, here comes the Christmas holiday season. But when you think in terms of business, what are you looking most forward to for the autumn fall season for your business? And so, of course, I asked my favorite AI assistant, Lux, for some insight. The first thing she said, which cracks me up because it's my favorite thing in the whole world, chambers of commerce. Definitely, I that started my entire business journey back in 2008. So chambers of commerce, I am a fan totally. But Lux actually said fall business events like Chamber of Commerce, a lot of times start planning their annual dinner, luncheon, whatever that looks like, as a farewell salute with Business Person of the Year and Ambassador of the Year and different things like that. Some people do that in January, but especially in the Kansas City market, they have found that the weather can change your mind on when that happens. So a lot of times they opt to do their end of year celebration or awards or renaming of the new officers or board members or whatever that looks like. So I thought that was awesome. The other thing that popped up is trade shows, and we call them vendor events also. And people are always looking for vendor events, and some of those have gotten a bad rap over the years simply because not enough people attend. So why is that? Because they don't advertise enough on social media. They don't invite enough friends, maybe. They don't ask each vendor to bring their network so that everyone can commingle, network, hello, and meet people from other markets. And so that might be the deal. But there have also been dynamically, amazingly successful vendor events. I've hosted several over the years myself. And the cool thing is, if you offer a grand prize, and everyone who participates or spends $1 on a raffle ticket or something has an opportunity. Pick a ticket, and here's the grand prize winner of the whatever it is. And of course, you'd get the grand prize donated by, um, I don't know, Sam's Club or Walmart or wherever you've got connections. And that would be on display, whatever it would be, which is cool. Or several door prizes, several big grand prizes with price value. And then literally every hour, 30 minutes, however long your vendor event would last, you take the microphone because you want to make it certainly professional, and take the microphone and literally say the winner is, get your tickets, here we go. And of course, you don't have to be present to win, or you do. It depends on the event. But think about cool ways to do your vendor event. Several times I've been at vendor events where they have tote bags, and that's available for you at the door as soon as you walk in. For people who have paid a fee, they have been able to stuff their business card, a little goodie, a little treat, whatever, little mints, little chocolates, little something is in the bag with their name and branding on it. And that is your treat for being there. And then as you gather things through the vendor event itself, you have a bag to put it all in. Perfect. But the bigger issue is, did you think about, uh-oh, did you think about putting your logo on the bag? How much would that cost? Depends on the event, totally depends on the person and the printing company. But just think outside the box a little bit. Get a little bigger, bigger, bigger when you're thinking in terms of fall events, fall fairs, fall everything. And apple spice, cider, just everything. And then pumpkin spice, by the way, if you want to start something on social media, say, I love pumpkin spice latte, or ew, do you actually drink pumpkin spice latte? And people definitely have an opinion about that. So think about that also when you're going through your social media to see what kind of reactions you get. Some people love it, some people hate it, like with most things. So anyway, Lex was talking about Small Business Saturday. That's usually in late November. Then there are also Thanksgiving networking luncheons, like I Thank You for a Great Year. You can also host different luncheons and events for your team if you are in a team type business. And certainly if you're an employer, you probably want to reward your team. And again, in Kansas City, a lot of times those aren't done in December just because everyone is so cray busy, but also the weather can change things. And so that is usually the time it's going to change. You have a fresh start as you get closer to year end. So you're wanting to wrap things up, but you're also wanting to go as far as depending upon the seasons. Then Lux literally was talking about different things to look forward to. People start decorating with fall scenes on their front porches and pumpkins and things like that. So you think in terms of ways to excite people to get them involved, certainly in your company, that would be great, or definitely your product or service. And a lot of times you can actually use the season as a kicking off point. And if you choose to have treats at your table, if you're doing the vendor show, if you choose to wear a little pumpkin pin when you're going to your different networking events, if you just anything that you can think of that's going to light up the sky, so to speak, and make people want to be part of your network. And you're having an in-person event, you're doing online events. This would not be a bad background for Zoom, whether you're doing your branding or whatever. And in this case, I could put my Enagic logo as far as independent distributor, and I actually might do that. And that way people would say, what's that E? And then you'd be able to show them. But literally, you could have this as your Zoom background to start the conversation of the seasons changing. What does that mean? Some countries are going into summer, like it's getting a little warmer, I believe, in Australia. And they've been suffering through winter a lot of these last couple months while we've been so hot in the Midwest. But it just depends on not only where you are, but what type of business you have. But it still has a lot to do with what do you want to get out of the season? And what are you looking forward to? People think in terms of roasted marshmallows, s'mores, fire pits, outside barbecue, and like I mentioned, tailgates for different football games, and the kiddos are back in school and their sports events are starting, which usually means zooming all over the place with carpools and things like that. So just think in terms of what does the season change mean personally for your family, but also for your business and for your company and different events that you can do. And by the way, one thing that I wanted to mention, if there are not vendor events in your location, it's a lot of work. Like I say, I've done them before, but they are definitely worth it because the band of people that you bring together, I really think lasts a long time. I really do. So the band of people that want to be part of your vendor event can be huge depending upon how you offer it. And so if there's not a vendor event in your location, host one yourself. And yes, you can go to YouTube, how to host a vendor event. You can probably go to your AI assistant. What should I have ready to go for my AI hosted event for the vendor part? And the AI piece will actually tell you step by step what you might need to get in place. So I just wanted to share a little bit about seasons changing. And by the way, when I was mentioning about pumpkin spice latte, instantly some of you went, others of you went, cheers. And so you could do a poll. Are you in favor of drinking pumpkin spice latte on the job? Or is that a treat for after hours? Who knows? Answer however you want. You can drink it whenever you want, or go to the coffee shop and drink it there. It tastes better when you're surrounded by other pumpkin spice latte lovers. Say that 3 times really fast. So think about creating a poll. It's always good for your algorithm traffic and eyes on your page. People love to give you their opinions and certainly their advice. So if you create a poll, something to do with fall, do you do vendor events? Do you host vendor events? Do you attend vendor events? And think in terms of polls, but remember, your AI assistant is always at the ready. So ask Lux, or whatever you have named yours, what is a cool thing to talk about regarding business in this third quarter? And let's find out what Lux would say, especially if she's going to be saying something like, oh, vendor events are the best thing ever. And find out what she says. What questions would you like to ask? How would you like to phrase it? And what kind of polls should I create for my social media pages regarding third quarter business events that are available now that usually aren't available other quarters? So get creative and let your AI assistant do the work. How you do the prompt has a lot to do with what result you will get from your assistant. And I have found my Lux is my friend, and we actually have a great conversation. And that's why she came up with some of these. And then, of course, she said, maybe we should do spring and summer. And I was like, whoa. And then, of course, she said, okay, how about end of year goals or first year goals or setting up those parameters? And I'm like, whoa. So she's definitely eager to continue this conversation. But literally, we're going to stop right here at fall, and we're going to find out a little bit more about what you think. What do you look forward to most as the seasons change, personally and for your business? So thank you again for joining me every single week. And again, keep those questions and comments coming. I absolutely love that, because I definitely think we all learn together. And hopefully I'll see you in some kind of cool Zoom background next time we get on a call. Bye for now, my friends, and happy Wednesday.